Hi, and thank you for choosing to participate in this learning session. Today we will be talking about bullying. We all know that as families, you want the best for your children, and you want to make sure they're in a safe learning environment. Here at APS, we want the same. Bullying can happen at any age, and it can take many different forms. So how do we deal with such a huge topic? Well, first, we must learn to identify it. In this session, you will learn the difference between conflict and bullying, types of bullying, signs to look for, how to encourage your child to be an upstander instead of a bystander, what you can do if you think your child is a target, and finally, what APS is doing. So what is bullying? Your child may come home using words you're not familiar with in regards to bullying. School counselors are trying to change the language. Instead of labeling students, we are trying to identify behavior. Bullies are now called aggressors who mistreat others. Victims are now called targets. Witnesses are bystanders. We are changing the language to show that children can play any of the roles at any given time. It will probably take some time to adjust to the new language, but keep practicing with your child. Bullying is generally defined as unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance, is intentional, and is repeated over time. It is important to note that the three main factors here are a power imbalance, intentional, and repetition. The power imbalance may be real, or it may be the way that the aggressor or target see the situation in the moment. Children who bully tend to use their power, whether physical, social, or emotional, in order to cause harm to others. This power can come in the form of being physically stronger, having access to embarrassing information, or popularity. However, in order for this power imbalance to be considered bullying, it must be behavior that is intentional and happens over and over. When trying to identify whether a situation is bullying or a normal conflict, here are some things to look for. Normal conflict might be something that happens occasionally. Accidental, both parties have equal power or are contributing to the issue equally. Both parties have equal emotional reactions. They are not seeking power or attention. They have remorse or take responsibility, and they put in effort to solve the problem. Bullying tends to be purposeful. One party has more power than the other, and it is repeated negative behavior. The aggressor justifies his or her behavior or even blames the target as seeking power, attention, control, or is trying to gain material things. Now that you know the difference between conflict and bullying, here are three main types of bullying: physical, verbal, and social. Physical bullying may involve hitting, kicking, spitting, tripping or pushing, making rude hand gestures, or taking or breaking the other person's things. Verbal bullying can involve teasing, name-calling, threatening, inappropriate sexual comments, or taunting. Verbal bullying can happen in person or on social media. Social bullying can involve hurting another person's reputation or relationships. This can include leaving someone out on purpose, spreading rumors, embarrassing someone in public, telling others not to be friends with someone, or blackmail. Social bullying can be done face-to-face, behind a person's back, or on social media. Any one of these types of bullying can occur during or out of school hours. While most reported incidents happen in school, it can also happen on the bus, at the playground, traveling to and from school, in the neighborhood, on the internet, through social media sites, and in text messages. For families, it can be challenging to know if your child is targeted or is an aggressor towards others, since most aggressors wait to attack until there is no adult around to notice. Statistics show that only 40% of bullying incidents are reported to adults. Other reasons to explain that most bullying goes unreported is that children may feel helpless or think they can handle it on their own. They may worry that if they tell an adult, they will be seen as weak or a tattletale. They may fear in general that no one cares or understands. They may also think about a possible backlash from the aggressor or the adult that they notify, or they may just feel humiliated. For these reasons, it is important to look for signs that your child is a target or is the aggressor, but also know that not all children exhibit warning signs. All of these signs could be normal behavior for your child, but most importantly, look for a sudden change in any of these areas. Here's some signs that your child may be a target. Unexplained injuries, lost or damaged clothing, books, electronics, or jewelry, frequent headaches or stomach aches, feeling sick or faking illness, change in eating habits, skipping meals or binge eating, or coming home hungry because they didn't eat lunch, difficulty sleeping or nightmares, declining grades, loss of interest in schoolwork, or not wanting to go to school, sudden loss of friends or avoiding social situations, feeling helpless or decreased self-esteem, self-destructive behaviors such as running away from home or harming themselves. Here are some signs that your child may be an aggressor: getting into physical or verbal fights, having friends who are aggressors, acting increasingly aggressive, getting sent to the principal's office or to detention frequently, having unexplained extra money or items, blaming others for their problems, not accepting responsibilities for their actions, are competitive, and worry about their reputation. Regularly talk with your child about great things that happen during their school day, frustrating experiences, interests, and friends they have. Stay involved in your child's life and be open to communication so that he or she can trust you and share difficult experiences with you. An important thing to know is that bullying involves more than just the person who is the target and the person who is the aggressor. There are children who do not start or lead the bullying, but are there to watch, encourage, or even support it. Some children know bullying is happening, but separate themselves from it and do not want to get involved. Lastly, there are children who actively stand by the target, comfort them afterwards, and support them when talking to a teacher or counselor. All of these children have a role in either adding to or trying to keep bullying from happening. Even if you do not suspect your child is a target or is an aggressor, talk to them about what to do when they see bullying happen. It is important to understand that encouraging bullying or simply not doing anything is adding to the problem. Teach your child not to be a bystander, but to stand up or to look for support from adults when they see bullying happening. Talk to your child about making sure the situation is safe before acting. Emphasize the importance of dignity, empathy, and respecting differences, and encourage them to speak up in difficult situations. So no matter what role your child played or could play in a bullying situation, it is important that you guide and support them. This starts with listening to your child and encouraging them to be the best that they can be. Talk to your child about possible scenarios and come up with a plan on how to handle these types of situations in the future. If you suspect that your child is a target or an aggressor or knows about a bullying situation, whether it be during or out of school, on the bus or online, it is important that you speak to the school counselor. You can also contact the Student, School, and Community Service Center at 855-9040. Because bullying gets in the way of students succeeding in school and in life, APS takes it very seriously. Not only does the district have a bullying prevention procedural directive, but every school is required to have their own plan for prevention and dealing with bullying. Feel free to call your child's school to find out what their bullying prevention plan is. You play such an important role in making sure bullying doesn't happen and handling it when it does. So thank you for completing this learning session. You should now have a better idea of the difference between bullying and conflict, different types of bullying, some signs to look for, what APS is doing, and what you can do. If you are already taking some action to prevent or stop bullying, we thank you. If you're not sure how to begin talking about bullying with your child, a book or a movie may be a good conversation starter. Here are just a few resources that may help you.